You gotta keep progressing. Keep progressing. You gotta keep progressing. Just keep progressing. You gotta keep progressing.
Drum beats and drum patterns. By entering teenagehood at 14 years old, I got distracted, by all the things that teenagers do. But later on, in my early 20s, I picked up music again and started making beats and sampling music, which led me down the journey of, writing lyrics and going down further the journey of hip hop. I say all that to say there's levels to any craft, to any skill, to any art form. In the very beginning, when I first started playing drums, I was introduced to the first level, on how to count music, how to listen intently. And, through the journey, I got deeper and deeper into the craft. But at the very beginning, even in my early 20s, when I was making beats, I was listening to the music and seeing the music from an outside perspective. I wasn't really able to analyze and pick apart the different techniques that the artists were using, how they were sampling. And, as far as rappers go, I was listening to artists as a whole. I wasn't able to define the wordplay that they were using, the poetry techniques, the different flows, the different tones, and through experience, through time, and through practice, I've been able to get closer to the inside of the art, to move further and get closer to the knowledge, to the understanding of the music. In the beginning, I was listening from a subjective point of view. I could only see and hear what I saw and what I felt, but I was unaware to the different levels and layers there are to the craft. So I would say I was quite ignorant. And when we start anything new, we're ignorant of the different, knowledge and understandings that we need to know about whatever skill it is. We can look at a car, for example, and know how it drives and see the exterior, looking from the outside in. But a mechanic knows the depth of the car, he knows the interior, how the engine works, and how the oil runs through the motors to make it smoother. Those things we don't understand unless we've studied for a long period of time and practiced our craft. So getting on the inside of your craft is very important at whatever you do. It could be, your business area, it could be a sport, it could be a craft or art, any type of skill. It's important to get closer to the inside, so you can understand the ins and outs and the different techniques, and look at the craft objectively. And you see things for how it is. You see the techniques and how it works, and when it needs to be used, and why something might not need to be used, and why something doesn't work. So being on the inside gets you closer to flow and closer to mastery. So I originally got this video topic from a Robert Greene book. The book is The Daily Laws, and he's written 366 meditations for every day of the year, and it's meditations on power, seduction, mastery, and human nature. And these are all books that he's written in the past, and I'm sure you guys would have read some of his books or heard of them at least. But on March the 2nd, he entitled it Get to the Inside, and so I'm going to read the passage that inspired this video. When I'm asked how I define mastery, or what phrase guides me in my own life or in writing a book, I say, it's getting to the inside. I'm always trying to move to the inside of things. On the outside, things look a certain way, kind of dead, because you're just seeing the appearance. When you get to the inside, you see the heart beating, you understand it, you get the reality. When you start learning to play chess or the piano, for instance, you're on the outside. You just see the exterior, visual surface of things, and you're learning the rules or the basics, and it's very slow and tedious. You don't really have an understanding, it's all confusing, it's all a blur. Eventually though, if you stick with it, you worm your way to the inside of it, and you're feeling the thing come alive. The chessboard or the piano is no longer a physical object, you've internalized it. I think there's different ways to get to the inside of your craft. I think, the obvious ones are studying and practice. The one I've used a lot over the years is being immersed in my craft, being immersed in the music, surrounding myself with people that are doing the art and working at it, sharing ideas with them, listening to the music intently, going to gigs, going to shows, reading different articles about music and watching videos, doing whatever I can just to immerse myself in the craft so I can just learn as much as I can and really soak up the knowledge and information about it. Another one is to be obsessed about your craft, and to be obsessed about something you need to have passion. So hopefully whatever you're working on, it's something you're passionate about, because you're naturally going to be obsessed about it. So being obsessed is definitely going to lead to being on the inside of your craft. And of course, just going for it, attempting and trying and failing, and learning from those fails is going to lead you to closer and closer to being on the inside of your creativity and your art. So, don't be afraid to fail, because that's going to lead to lessons if you're paying attention to why you did fail. I think everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different to get to the core of whatever they're doing. If it's a business, what led them to the business is going to be different to the next. How people write and why they write is different for everybody. So I think knowledge of self, understanding yourself, understanding your feelings and your past, your experience, understanding how you learn best. Are you a visual learner? Are you a more of an interpersonal learner through having conversations with people? Are you more of a learner through reading books? Or are you more of an emotional learner? There's so many different ways to learn. So I think becoming more in touch with yourself and having knowledge of self is going to lead you in the right direction to get to the center of your craft. So that comes with time and practice, and so does getting to the center of your craft. That comes with time. So be patient, keep working at it, keep striving to get to the center at whatever you're working at, and don't give up. Keep pushing, and eventually you will become part of the craft, and the craft will become a part of you. And mastery is something that we're always striving towards, and I don't think we ever reach mastery. I think there's always different levels to reach. So that's the part of the journey, and part of the game is to continuously be at it and leveling up, and be proud of your level up. But don't get comfortable. Keep striving, keep pushing, keep learning, and in time, you'll reach a place that you never thought was possible. And I can say that from my own experience, looking back at that 14-year-old self, who was just learning how to play drums, to understanding music the way I do now, has been a long journey. And I know, to be honest, I feel like I'm still at the very beginning of my journey. I feel like I still got a long way to go. So I got to keep putting in work, keep practicing, and keep immersing myself in the craft, so the craft can be a part of me and I a part of the craft.